Hello friends, this is Jasu Bakuhatsu, and today I've decided to change things up just a little bit for you guys. I thought you might be getting tired of the same old 2D platformer, kind of mascot platformer, Metroidvania sort of games that I play on this channel pretty much all the time in the last couple of years or so that I've been going with this. So yeah, to change things up just a little bit, I'm going to be playing some Azure Dreams for you guys right now. This is an RPG released by Konami for the PlayStation back in 1998. And so yeah, I say RPG. Specifically, this is kind of a light roguelike mystery dungeon style RPG. Although it's got some other cool elements to it as well. As you can see, they're kind of introducing sort of the main premise of the game right here, and there's a lot of other stuff in here in this game aside from just your basic, roguelike dungeon crawling exploration type mechanics here. You've got like some town building stuff, kind of like Dark Cloud if guys have ever played those games. You've got some sort of dating sim aspect where you can kind of romance some of the ladies about town if you feel like it. So it's got like some of those, dating sim aspects in there. And then you've got, of course, you've got sort of the whole Pokemon monster collection thing that they've been sort of introducing here in the intro, appropriately enough. So yeah, basically this game is just like this big, like just amalgamation, or really just a smorgasbord of like everything that was just really hip and popular and just going on in video games back in the mid to late 90s. And it's a really interesting game, I think, and actually one of my favorites. This is not one of my favorites of like all time, or one of my favorite PS1 RPGs, I'll say. This is one of the few PlayStation era RPGs that I think that really holds up for me. This is one of the few games from that era that I still enjoy playing to this day, and I do like coming back to this Azure Dreams every once in a while. Just it's a good time. Like I said, there's a lot of nostalgia, because like I said, a lot of the stuff in this game just kind of brings me back to just that era in gaming. And yeah, hopefully you guys have been getting a sense of the premise of the game over this intro that's been going on while I've been talking. But so yeah, or I guess I can just summarize for you. Yeah, basically there's this big tower outside of town, and there's monsters in there, and we gotta go catch them all, or something or other. Right, options. Was there anything that needed to be triggered here? Okay. I don't know what that means, and everything else looks fine. Okay, good. Not a lot of options to mess with, that's fine. Okay, and let's so we're there it is, Azure Dreams. They're known in Japan. Actually, they dropped the Other Life subtitle from this one. This was called Other Life Azure Dreams in Japan, which is kind of weird. Apparently, I actually looked up like the title on Wikipedia, and I never realized it. I knew that it had like the Other Life subtitle, but apparently there's like a pun sort of going on there, where the pronunciation of other and Azure is exactly the same. So like in Japanese it would be like Azaa Life Azure Dreams or something like that. There's like a weird little pun going on there, which sort of helps explain the title a bit, because Other Life Azure Dreams is just a weird title for the game. It's like nothing in that title has anything whatsoever to do with the game. Anyways, here they've got this weird little sequence where this angel baby's telling us to name our character before we get sent down to Earth to be, birthed out of our mother's, you know how it works. So yeah, default name is Ko, I imagine short for Konami, who, did I mention? Yeah, I think I mentioned this game was developed by Konami. And you've got some other sort of default names to choose from, which are all kind of weird. It's like you've got Chris, and then a bunch of these other weird, just I don't know what they were going for there. Anyway, we have a name. We have a good name already. It's Jasu. Alas, we've only got the 1, 2, 3, 4, looks like 8 or so characters to work with. So that looks like the full. Alas, Azure Dreams is not prepared to handle the full Bakuhatsu, so we'll go with just Jasu for now. Indeed, we will be Jasu, as we have always been, which is perfectly all right with me. Actually, it really isn't. I wish I'd have come up with a better name for my YouTube channel. It's just, who can even spell that nonsense, really? It's actually kind of a long story. Originally, it wasn't going to be an LP channel. I wanted to do anime reviews originally, and the name is kind of a stupid, terrible play based on sort of my real life name as well as the Japanese tongue twister. And really, because isn't that just like the best and most easily accessible and memorable way to name your YouTube channel, is to name it after a foreign language tongue twister? But yeah, Jasu Bakuhatsu is a play on Gasu Basu. No, or was it Gasu Basu or Basu Gasu? I think it's Basu Gasu Bakuhatsu is the tongue twister. Anyways, this is all nonsense. There's going to be a lot of nonsense going on right now. We're going to have a lot of time to kill here. So yeah, as you can see, we begin the game at the beginning here. Our character has been born, and we do indeed end up looking pretty much exactly like him, as you do in pretty much every anime out there. So we thought, I actually think this is kind of neat. They start with the default name, and they keep that. Oh yeah, Kono. Yeah, Kono. There's a lot of weird translation stuff in this game. This is not an era of where like game translation wasn't particularly. They didn't put as much effort into these English translations of Japanese RPGs back in the day as they do nowadays. I'll put it that way. So we're gonna be seeing a fair bit of nonsensical and typo-ridden dialogue as we go through the game here, which is fine. It's not like a story-driven game or anything. Oh, yes, indeed. God totally picked out that name. This right here is actually kind of a weird sequence. So there is like a reason why we're starting back here. There's like a bit of relevant backstory that sort of will come at the end here. But this scene here always struck me as really strange. There's like no reason to it really whatsoever, apparently. As far as I can tell, it's kind of more thematic than anything, where you can see Jasu's dad. Oh yeah, you might see the character portraits pop into the foreground occasionally. That's just me pressing triangle. You can do that, and that just lets you get a better look at the character portraits. Anyways, and that's like the whole scene there. It's just, we were apparently mean to our best friend Nico, and she goes crying to our dad, and he says, hey, you gotta be nice to girls. Which is really irrelevant in terms of like the backstory and all that, but I realized kind of looking at it years later that it's basically kind of to introduce kind of the theme, or introduce the whole like dating sim romance aspect to the game, basically, where it's like we've got, okay, our father guy is a monster hunter, and he was, you know, good with the ladies, which are basically two of the things that this game is about. It's just fighting the monsters and romancing the ladies is pretty much what it's all about. And here we come to the first half of those two things, where, yeah, talking about how guys evidently kicking ass in that tower because we saw some stuff going on at the top floor. But, ooh, bad premonitions and or something. So yeah, big shiny light, and I'm just going to spoil this for you guys right here. This is basically, yeah, the backstory that we're getting here is how our main character's father dies horribly in the tower, and apparently, I don't know, whatever killed him shot off like these giant lasers that could have potentially done some like serious damage to the town if they'd been aimed forward a bit. I don't know, but whatever he's fighting with up there though is like super powerful. Like, our dad is definitely a badass. They've got some big shoes to fill, which is sort of the other aspect that I think that this intro sequence is trying to kind of just the reason that they chose to include all of these long intro cutscenes in this really non-story driven game is to just kind of introduce those two main elements of the game. So yeah, father's dead. Sorry to spoil things for you, but that's the way it is. And, ooh, rain in the desert. I actually forgot about that. I don't think there's like... Yeah, I wonder actually, how do they even get water out here in the desert? I guess there must be an oasis or something nearby. Maybe they showed one in one of the big, like, way... Oh, and it doesn't even have enough characters on the name, on the naming thing to even spell out Grandpa's full name. Or maybe that's just his name. Our grandfather is named Grandp. And yeah, he's kind of an insensitive bastard, as is our aunt. That's just the great thing to do, to talk about, like, yeah, this worried potential widow when she's like standing right there. Let's just go back and forth about how her husband is probably in danger and how she's probably feeling terrible about it. I don't know what, a guy. Oh, it's a monster. Probably. Yep. Why indeed, Gramp, you're such an idiot. Go back to the home. But yeah, there's actually going to be a really cool intro sequence coming right after this. So I'm actually not going to talk over this next movie because I kind of want you guys to get the whole experience, the music and everything. It's a really cool intro. It gets me pumped for the game every time I see it. So enjoy. And there you have it. That's Azure Dreams in a nutshell. And yeah, we got the nice little mascot character to cap things off for some reason. Okay, so here we are in the present day, years and years after Guy's death. And it's our 15th birthday, apparently. Apparently the coming of age day. When you're 15, you're an adult, apparently, in the world of Azure Dreams, which means all sorts of great stuff. Basically, we can go and make money by, yeah, killing monsters in the tower. So yeah, go out and provide for our widowed mother and younger sibling, apparently. We're not going to be a wuss. We're just take it in stride. This is just the way she is. I don't think it even makes any difference what you say there. There's a lot of dialogue choices in this game where the outcome or even like the character's your response will be exactly the same no matter what you pick. I think yeah, in that case Nico will just ignore will respond the same way regardless of what you say there. I think there's another one of those coming up as well. Yeah, who gives a damn about the temple? Oh yeah, we got this like weird midget with this ridiculous eyebrows. I don't know what they were thinking of with this character design. It actually, I think it almost wouldn't be so bad if it weren't for that freaking Twitch showing us the eye is like weird beady little eyes. He looks like some kind of like I don't know, weird like half goblin monstrosity. Whatever, he's just gonna mumble some unintelligible words over us and bonk us in the head with the cane, I guess, because I guess that's what you do. But no, like I said, we're a man now. We've got to tough these things out, be patient, and there we go. We're done. Totally an adult now after the dude bonks us in the head with the cane. Evident. I wonder if maybe we would have failed the test if we'd have complained about it. And of course, no, that's not the case. But yeah, tower's dangerous. Do we want to go right this moment? I actually didn't think of that because I could go to the tower right now, or I could kind of show you guys around town a little bit. I'm not going to bother going through his little tutorial spiel because we'll get another tutorial when we enter the tower anyway, so it'd be completely redundant. Exactly. And it honestly, like I said, a lot of the dialogue in this game is pretty poorly translated. So honestly, a lot of the stuff that he says in the tutorial here doesn't really make any sense anyways. I am going no matter what. We are just totally... Because I'm totally excited to be playing Azure Dreams and going to the Monster Tower and getting the loot. supporting the mother and the single mother and younger sister and all that. Oh yeah, I think I might have missed it already. There's a line of dialogue because yeah, you saw that we had that, the dad's monster came back from the tower. So it's like, yeah, certainly our dad must have had like a collection of monsters. So we'll have like all of these pet monsters to choose from to bring us into the tower with us right off the bat. Well, no, apparently we ran out of them at some point, which I guess maybe provides you with some insight as to how responsible our protagonist has been with as sort of a raiser of monsters up to this point. Although I guess probably his mother would have taken care of them. So maybe she's the one who sort of quote-unquote ran through the monster. I can't remember exactly how they phrase it. I don't know if I missed it or if it's still to come. Yeah, again, another one of those communist choices where it makes no difference what you say. They keep Wreath's portrait up here, so it looks like she's like whispering to us, like, a pita fruit is received. That's what's happening right now, is I just gave you a pita fruit. Like, it's like part of her dialogue or something, which is just, yeah, like I said, like a lot of just weird little dialogue things in this game that I just find really amusing. Oh, I wonder what's gonna happen next. Lol, she said don't stumble, and he stumbled, and yeah. So yeah, the question is, yeah, do we go right to the tower right off the... Okay, I'll do like a brief little tour of town first, just to kind of the relevant... couple of the relevant bits, because there's really only a few buildings that are... Although, there's nothing productive you can do in town anyways. You have no money to start off with, but just to give you guys an idea of sort of what's out there, what we're working towards. Oh, and there's this asshole. So, okay, first... and I guess also to get a sense of just how the people in town think, how the people in town regard poor Jasu at the start. He gets no respect, which I guess makes sense because he's been apparently just a little brat up until this point, being a total nuisance to everyone. But hey, we can't be a brat forever, as it turns out. No, I'm a hunter. Like I said, we're a badass. We're badass. I don't know how you... whatever. I don't know how grammar works when you start using the royal plural to refer to yourself. So yeah, if you come to buy, though, if you look at this, pretty much all of the shops in this town, or most of the shops, are completely useless. This guy just says, oh yeah, there's so many hunters here in town that there's never anything to sell, and sure enough, you've got the worst sword, or the second worst sword in... Okay, I'll get into what's the best and the worst swords in the game later on, but yeah, a crappy sword and a medicinal herb, and that's the only thing they're ever going to get. There's no way to ever expand the shop's inventory, although you can sell things if you want. And then there's this asshole here, so this guy's basically the rival character. He's a pair, I think if I remember correctly, he's a year older than our guy, which means that he's been adventuring in the tower longer than us, and he's basically this spoiled rich asshole who just kind of is an asshole to us occasionally. So yeah, we'll be seeing him occasionally, and as you can see, actually the guys in here sometimes have useful information, so if it's your first time through the game, you can actually get some good information out of these guys, and their dialogue changes the further you progress up the monster tower. Like every 5 floors, basically all of the NPCs in town will have new dialogue, and the guys in a couple of different buildings, basically here and in the bar, they'll actually have useful things to tell you sometimes. Although here they're just kind of alluding to stuff that's going to happen in the end game. Good grief, this guy's even more of a jackass to us. I'm a customer, damn it, even though I don't have any money. But yeah, even more useful, or even more useless than the weapon shop. Yeah, here it is. We've run out of the familiars our father left us, which is like, how exactly did that happen? Or I guess maybe they just died of old age in it. I guess that could be the case. If maybe they just don't have a very long lifespan. Or maybe we sold them all. That would actually make sense. What with, as far as I can tell, our mom doesn't do anything for a living. I guess just living off whatever guy left us. So that, yeah, if you try to buy monsters here, this is the monster shop, and they never have monsters, and they will never ever have monsters. As he says, the excuse being that there are, again, so many hunters in town, they just sell out right away. We can see monsters, like, right here in the frickin' shop. Like, we can buy these little pull and pud guys, and this is basically the crappiest monster. Didn't mean to talk to this guy. So, you don't there is not actually a talk button in this game. You talk to people just by running into them, which is really annoying, I think. A lot of the time I find myself talking to people and when I don't want to and having to skip through dialogue. This is the fortune teller. That takes a while, but basically you can get some, actually a lot of useful information you can get out of the fortune teller. We'll talk to her later. But yeah, that right there is actually one of the few useful stores in town, so we'll actually go in there once we have some money to spend, maybe. And I say useful. One of the useful in that they actually sell things that are of sort of dubious value, but nevertheless, you can buy them, and they have an effect on the game, kinda, sorta. And here you can see her. And yeah, Nico's dad doesn't fit at all. Not even close. I don't know why they even bothered. But yeah, or maybe that's just Nico's dad's name is Nook's dad. But yeah, and yeah, again, you know, here, obviously one of the romance options, basically any girl with a portrait in this game is basically that's your indication that you're looking at a romantic prospect, and this is your stereotypical childhood friend, or I guess what's archetypal childhood friend character. And here we get a little bit of information on sort of her motivations and what she's all about. How she respected our dad and liked hearing about. I'm just basically relating to you like the same stuff that the dialogue is just saying right now. But basically, she wants to fix up the town a little bit, add a little bit of class to the little town of Monsa here. I'm not really interested in any of that, though. Yeah, we'll get more of the girls telling us about how we measure up to Gosh throughout the game. Oh, I forgot to mention, yeah, that's the rich asshole's name. The rich rival asshole's name is it Gosh, or I think it's Gosh is actually the proper pronunciation. I've never actually had reason to say these characters' names out loud before, but I've always pronounced it Gosh in my head. I'll probably switch back and forth. Sure. I guess this is an LP, so I will probably end up just building all of the possible uptown buildings just to show them to you guys. But honestly, they don't. It's mostly just kind of fun little cosmetic things. Kind of adds a little bit of flavor, a little bit of immersion. It sort of gives you like a little bit of purpose to your whole dungeon crawling exploration sequences. It's like you're actually building to other things other than just, you know, making it to the top of the tower and then that's like the only goal you have. You've got like other things you can be doing if you care about building up the town. Oh, this is kind of funny. So this is actually one of the few dialogue options in this game that actually does something. So she's like, oh, so she's totally comfortable with, and I don't know why people, like, apparently, like, this girl is like a tomboy because the manual says so and because some of the characters say so, even though she's like always going on about like culture and like prettying up the town, and she like dresses the way you see her dressing. and yet apparently they've got like this tomboy thing that they keep saying about her, which isn't really applicable at all. Anyways, yeah, I just thought that was weird how she gets all offended or whatever when you tell her that she's not feminine, and then when you choose the other option, she's like, if you're cultural, I'm feminine. It's like, make up your mind, woman. I say woman, all the girl. This is maybe something. Okay, anyways, before I get into that, and oh yeah, this here is some nerd loser who's apparently our main character's only guy friend. I'm gonna try to avoid talking to him because I don't know, it's just his sprite bothers me. And yeah, this is the sort of the builder's place. We've got this dude who's gonna build some stuff for us. And off the bat, you can just build expansions to your house. You can expand your monster hut so that you can have more hold more monsters in your house and have sort of a large stable. of pet monsters to choose from when you're going in the tower, and then you can just expand the house, which a nice little cosmetic effect, just like sort of makes your house bigger and changes the graphics in there, and also actually has the practical benefit of expanding your safe in your house as well. Because yeah, you have a limited number of basically you have limited storage space to hold items in your house, and you can only take so many items in the tower as well. You have like I think it's like okay, I can't count right now. I think it's something like 20 or 30 item slots when you're actually inside the tower, but you can't walk in with that many items. If the tower kicks you, you're prevented from entering the tower if you have more than 5 items. So you can only come in to the tower with 5 items. And so yeah, you gotta hold the rest of stuff and the stuff in storage as your house. And that's pretty much the whole tour of the town. So yeah, let's head to the tower, and hey, we find this little weird monster blue bat Pikachu looking thing. But he says he's not my enemy, but he's very suspicious. I don't know if it's a regular thing for monsters to speak English. That's a weird little ambiguous phrase that he uses there. I'm just smart enough to learn the human language. Does that mean like is it like he's saying that like it's just that I'm smart enough to learn the human language, or is he saying that like I am like, or is it like just in the sense that like I am like just barely smart enough to learn the human language? Yes, I am going in alone. I could actually totally take things as far as I need to alone at this point, but yeah, we do have the magic collar though, so we might as well put it to good use. Oh, a great monster tamer, he says. I wonder who that could have been. He's a deserter, I tell ya. Gotta bring him back to the plantation. Oh god, no. That went totally the wrong place. I don't know why people would like not want to have anything to do with like this monster that speaks the human language. Like, isn't that like a remarkable thing? Or I guess maybe too many of them saw the classic Looney Tunes. What's the name of that cartoon? One Froggy Evening with the singing frog. I guess too many people saw that cartoon and figured talking animal. No way. That's just not. I don't care how remarkable that is. That's not going to turn out well for me. Although really, I don't know how they'd have access to Looney Tunes cartoons. Honestly, he does look kind of mean. I'm not going to mince words. I'm just going to get this out of the way right now. Like to start with some praise, I actually do like the character and the monster designs in this game. Like the artwork and the portraits and stuff look really nice. Like we saw a lot of the really nice artwork in that intro there. But yeah. I don't know what this means. No, it's not red. What's not red? The collar is red. We have a red collar, but I guess maybe because the monster is not red? I don't know. Or I guess whatever. I guess he wants... Jasu's just looking like, oh, a blue cune, but I wanted the one in red. But yeah, this, again, one of those communist choices. No matter what you do, you gotta get him in there. Let's see. We couldn't fit in the full Jasu Bakuhatsu, so we'll get that in here right now with our monster. No, that's exactly the wrong word. No. That's not the name that we want. That was not even intentional either. Okay. I don't think we're gonna have enough for even the Bakuhatsu though. Yeah, he's got to be Jasu and Bakuha. Or you know what? We'll go with Baku. But no. Yeah, we'll go with the Baku, and then we'll save Hatsu for our next monster. I think that's gonna work right there. Yeah. Oh no, the spaces. Oh well, we'll be able to rename him later. But I think, yeah, I didn't realize that those empty spaces would actually count there. I am Mr. Jasu. Master Jasu even. I think he calls you Master Jasu either way. And yeah, like I said, he's gonna teach us everything about the tower. Anyways, so the whole tutorial from the Elder earlier would have been useless, whether we took it or not. And really, I find that I like tutorials better when they actually occur. Like the worst kinds of tutorials where it's just like a text dump with like no, like not even like any diagrams. It's just like a bunch of text telling you how to do everything. It's like I like it to like you know, I like that text to be accompanied with like some actual gameplay, so you can sort of actually play the game as it's telling you how to play the game, and you can actually see what they're talking about and go through it yourself as they're telling you about it.